So yesterday was about single fold binding.
That'd be a lot of bulk.
And it would, if you have a small project and you're doing double fold binding. I mean, let's imagine if Kyle said, you know what, I'm calling it this good, right? Good is done, right? And she decided she was going to quilt it and bind it. No reason to put a double fold binding on this baby. Do the single fold binding, right? So that's with small projects. So let me show you, because we're going to revisit that single fold binding today, but I promised you yesterday that I would take a picture when I finished my snowman one.
I like him.
So isn't he sweet?
He's cute.
So Kyle, these were leftover blocks that I've done nothing with for years.
I have a few
They're
of
like
those.
6, 7 years old. And I finally decided I'm just going to take it to the finish line. I'm going to quilt it, bind it, and call it good, right?
They're
and
cute.
I think they're adorable.
Yeah.
And so the snowman one was the one that I showed as a demonstration yesterday. So you guys all saw me put it on the front, and then I hand stitched the back. So I wanted to share a picture with you all of the finished piece.
Cute. I like the stripe binding.
I do too. It's really fun, isn't it? So
and it's straight.
It is straight.
Like you did it on purpose.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So today I thought it would be fun to do another miniature project, but this one is not a quilt block. We're going to actually practice. This is going to give you good practice on doing your single fold binding today with a fun little project that is screaming for summer, because I should have.
Cool.
I'm cool like that, right?
Are those your real glasses?
Yeah.
Those are cool.
You like these? Well,
you need a convertible.
I do. We're going to make a sunglass case today, guys.
I like that one.
So here we go. This is what we're making. And this is going to be a really fun, easy little project that is a quilt as you go. So we'll do quilt as you go.
That even better.
Yes. And then we're going to revisit the single fold binding, and look how nice that looks compared to if I had done a double fold binding, right?
There was no reason. That's a lot of bulk
to
sew through. And
it is. So the single one works out good. Here's another one. I made 2. This one, well, you'll see in a minute how this one's just a titch different, but you can see both of these here. So so Kyle and I worked on these together earlier, and we're gonna kind of divide up this demo today. So the first thing that you need to do, by the way, we do have a pattern. Nice. We call it Ready for Sunshine. So all the measurements and everything are there. All right, Kyle. So the first thing we're going to do is create the quilt as you go. And this is just one of the easiest
It's the best thing to know.
Yeah, it's so fun
because it can get you through a lot of things.
Absolutely.
You can make bags with this.
This is a great stash buster, right? Scrap buster, whatever you want to call it. But we're starting out with a 7-inch square of batting, and this is the really thin Kimberbell batting, which I love.
And you didn't even need the fusible fleece or anything like that, just batting.
No, just batting. And then I have a 7-inch square of backing.
I love that.
So, and then I just went through my scraps and I cut some strips out of them. And on this, it doesn't matter how wide your strips are. You just want them to be as wide as the 7 inches, but also as long as the 7 inches, as the width can be.
You can make really thin strips.
2 inch, doesn't matter. You can change them.
You want to sew a lot? You can do thin ones.
Yeah, for sure. So Kyle's going to take us through the first step of this process of doing the quilt as you go. So we're going to bring the camera down and show us how we do this.
Okay.
Kyle.
So we're going to start out with your back. That's the back of my project, and we're having it face down. Then we're going to put our batting on that we've cut to the same size as your project, which is, did you say 7 inches?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. 7 inches. So then we're going to put whatever color
Now you could use a little sprayed adhesive
You
if
could.
you want to.
Or
This
pin
is such
it.
a small project that I think we can get away without it
Yeah,
too.
we
Okay.
don't need to. So the first strip, you're going to put right side up. I guess I'm going to put it this way. I think there's a right side to this, a right way up, down.
Doesn't
So it doesn't matter. So your first one is going to go right side up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So your second strip, you're going to marry them or kiss them. You're going to put them right sides together. Right raw edges. Not on, you're not worrying about this edge. You're worried about this edge because this is where you're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam. And it's going to go through all of the layers. I'm catching the back of my project.
Yeah.
Want me to go ahead and sew that?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and sew that? Are you set up at a 1/4 inch?
Yep.
Yep. So she's going to sew that and then we'll move on to the next one. So
right.
if you have any questions along the way, just ask away. Yeah, Heidi says quilt as you go. Love these terms. Yeah, QAYG is what they call it. Renee says, what a great use of single fold binding. Good. I'm so glad, Renee. Like I said, I was trying to think of something small that we could do that was not a quilt block. So,
okay,
there we go. All right.
Here's the back of my project.
You can see
that?
Yeah.
I've quilted that because I have done a 1/4 inch seam, putting those two together. I'm going to flip that up. And I'm just going to finger press. I don't know if the iron is on. It's not.
It's not. I can plug it in though, but we can finger press this one.
Yeah, we'll just finger press this one.
And
it's
I'll
not
get
a big
that
deal.
ready for the
So
next
I'm going
one.
to finger press this. I should have gone a little bit further over, but we're okay because we'll trim it down.
Yep.
So it's finger pressed. So the next one we're going to do.
Whichever one you want, Kyle.
I'm going to do yellow.
Okay.
So this one, I'm going to do the same idea we just did there. I'm going to put the right sides together. Line up the raw edges, and I'm going to sew here. We're not sewing that side. We're sewing the raw edges. Okay.
Okay.
1/4 inch seam again.
All righty.
Okay. And look at this. Now I have 3 strips. I'm going to finger press that, or if the iron is ready. Make that halfway.
No. Let's bring the ironing station over here.
Bring it over here?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
There we
There
go.
we go.
That works better.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see my 2 quilting lines there. So I'm going to take my iron. I don't think I got.
Oh,
Yep, it's on. It's on. Okay, I'm just going to flip it. Flip it up.
So some people call it quilt as you go. Some call it strip and flip. There's
Yeah.
lots of different names for it.
Yeah, there are.
Which one next, my friend?
Okay, let's see. I'm going to do the dark blue. I like the dark blue.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line up my raw edges, putting the right sides together. You notice they're not all the same size. This is wider. These 3, I think, are about the same size. But I'm putting my raw edges together.
So go ahead and sew that.
Okay.
So the whole goal is to just cover that batting. Okay. What questions do we have? Alice, when you say thin batting, is Kimberbell project batting too thick? No, actually, that's the perfect size. So I do thin batting. I use Kimberbell project batting.
It's if you have
absolutely
leftovers from a
perfect.
project.
And Colette said she learned to quilt as you go in one of your youth classes, Kyle.
Yay!
When you made the notebook cover.
I was going to say we did this in the kids' classes.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my 3rd stitch line.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. I've stitched the black or the blue one down. I'm flipping it and I'm just pressing.
Okay.
It just looks so much better. I can do a pretty good finger press, but
yeah, I agree. I like the ironing
it's
too.
crisp. Okay, my last one. I'm lining that up. This is a really, really difficult project. Line up your raw edges. That's it. I'm teasing.
Okay, there we go. Oh, yay. Curtis is loving this project. Good, good, good. Utah's loving the pineapple behind us. I know, it's so cute. It's going to be on Comment Soul tomorrow.
Darling. Okay, here we go. Last one. I flipped it.
Yay.
I'm going to press it. And look, it's magically, we planned it. Covered the whole back. And there's all my quilt lines.
I love it, Kyle.
Okay.
Love it.
There we go.
Okay, so let's
move the iron for a
let's
minute.
go ahead and move that back.
Okay.
I'll put that there. You good?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So now that that's finished, what we want to do is just trim up our edges here. Okay. So just to have them nice and even.
I like a small ruler.
Yes. Small ruler. We kind of talked about this yesterday, that you do definitely want smaller rulers when dealing with mini quilts or anything of this size. So this is our girlfriend's ruler, actually. So it looks like everything is trimmed up. And now you're going to cut out two pieces that are 6.5 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to just use my mat here to help me do that.
Oh, yeah.
So 1, 2, 3 1/4. And then I'll do it one more time. 3 1/4. And then I do 6.5. And because this is just a quilt as you go, it doesn't matter. I can take it from either side. So I'm going to go ahead and just go from here. 6.5.
So this is 6.5 inches tall.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And how I got that measurement was I actually measured my my sunglasses.
Really?
Uh-huh. And then I added about 1/2 inch to it. So, but that's what's probably going to typically fit most sunglasses. If you happen to have ones that are really, really big, you may need to make some adjustments. Okay, so now you have two parts of the sunglass case.
They're the same size.
That are the exact same size. You're going to set one of them aside, and the second one, what you're going to do is find your ruler, and you're going to make it go from a diagonal point to about 3 inches down on one side. So I'll do that right there. Let's see. I'm going to use my mat to help me get to my 3. 1, 2, 3. So right there. You could draw a line and then cut it, or just cut it right here. Okay, with my ruler. So again, you're at the corner, and I just went 3 inches down and just trim that off.
Wow. Good job.
That's it. Okay, so you can see
that
if I put this on top, it actually still matches, right? So I could have it like that. Or what's kind of fun is I could flip this around and let this back side really stand out. And then I have this on the back of it. So that's kind of what we did here, was when I was telling you that there were two different ways. So it's totally up to you. This one I kept to be the same. And it's separated by this, which we're going to talk about in a minute. This one, I had Kyle just flip it over. This was originally the back, and then on the back side is the stitches. So it totally is just up to you and your personal preference. Okay.
Nice.
So
or you could put this, or you could put this like this.
You could. Yeah. Look at that. So here, Kyle just flipped this upside down. So now you have colors that are opposite of each other. So you can see there. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. Okay. You could go like this, but it's going to be the opposite side. So, but any which way you want to do it. So you have these two pieces. So now it's time to do the single fold binding. And if you weren't with us yesterday, I would love to invite you to go back to yesterday's video to see exactly how it's done. But today we're going to go through it again. Yeah, Kyle did it.
It was quick,
as well.
easy.
And what we're going to do is we're going to take the single fold binding is 1.25 inches wide.
And how did you figure out how long you needed?
I just like a normal quilt, you would add up all the sides and add about 10 inches. So plus your slant. So the first thing we're going to do is create the binding on the slant. There's a couple ways I could do this. I could stitch it on the front first and bring it up and around to the back and then hand stitch it, or I could do it from the back first, bring it up and around to the front and do a top stitch on it. Nice. All right, so it's totally up to you. So again, can we grab? Yep. Let's see, where did that go? It was a glue stick. Okay, so when I did, when I did mine, I went from the back to the front, and then I did a top stitch around it. And then I asked Kyle if she would do from the front to the back, and then we just hand stitch on the back. So it really depends on the look you're going for. Okay, so what I'm saying is there's really no right or wrong way to do this. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do it on the back first. I'm going to put right sides down. And I've got plenty of binding here, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut some of that off just to be easier.
On that.
I was, yeah. Now let's head over to the machine and just stitch this on.
Do you want me to carry this over?
No,
I'll do a little dance. Yeah.
Get down tonight. Get down tonight. Okay, so here we go.
So you put that on the back?
Sarah said you could just fold it over instead of cutting the 2 rectangles. You could, but I'll tell you why I cut the 2 rectangles. Because if you fold it over, you don't necessarily have a binding on one side. And I wanted a binding all the way around. So that's why I chose to do it that way. But that is totally up to you. All right, so here we go. I'm bringing this over to the front. And this is where some people yesterday were confused. They said, well, you're going to have a raw edge. Actually, you won't, because you fold this in towards the quilt, if you will. We'll just call this a quilt for lack of a better term here. You're going to fold it in towards the quilt, and you're not going over it. You're just going up to it. And then you're able to bring this over one more time. And now I can top stitch. So I'll go ahead and do that. And Kyle, why don't you see if there's any questions we can help answer?
Binding width is 1.5.
Binding was 1.4. Oh, no, 1.25.
1.25 inch is what she cut the width of the binding.
Yep.
Okay, you should also fold it over. Okay. Betty Jo, or you could cut the diagonal. Yeah. Need to make this for my husband. That's what Laura says. He just got new shades. Oh, yeah. You don't want to scratch your glasses.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Okay. So you can see here that I have top stitch. So that doesn't look too bad, right?
Mike will really like that.
That's right.
Maybe if you did it out of golf.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. So I have this, and I'm just going to cut the edges off.
You cut straight up.
Yeah.
So because that'll go in your other binding.
Yep. Okay. So are we good there? All right. So now I'm going to take this and add that on like that.
Cute.
Or I could do it this way. Which way should I do it?
I don't know. I love those colors. That's cute. I like that.
You like that one?
With the gray separating them out.
Okay. Should we do it that way? We'll do it that way. Okay. So what you're going to do is just lay this on top, and then just stitch about 1/8 of an inch inside just to hold it all together. All right. So I'll do that. Could you use a Baby Lock quilt binding foot? Yes. Yep. You sure could. You could also use like bias tape if you were just to buy bias tape at the store.
I've done that before. Not for a quilt, but
yeah, for something like this, you could absolutely do that. Okay, so I have everything lined up. I'm going to.
Are you stitching around the whole square or rectangle? Or just where you're
just
attaching?
Where I'm attaching.
Okay, yeah. Just where she's attaching it. Okay, you're a lifesaver. I have a project from years ago that needs a single layer binding. I quit making it because the binding was too thick. Kris, you did it again. You could do a decorative stitch on your binding, yeah, to attach it.
Great idea.
Yeah, I like that sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, so you can see here that this has now been sewn together. I just barely went in. It's just to hold it in place.
You didn't do up here.
No, I just went like down this way and around.
There's no need to.
So now the final thing to do is to do the binding all the way around. So I'm going to trim this up a little bit. Make sure your edges are even.
We're good.
All right, there we go.
That's a real sewer.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. So now what we're going to do, yeah, you could use gross grain ribbon.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Oh,
you could even put a loop on it so you could attach it to something.
Not a bad idea. I like that. Okay. So now I'm going to put it on the back again. And
you're attaching this on the back like you did the other part.
I am. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay.
She had a genius way to attach the ends too. I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. What about using, okay, that's what she, hey, Cheryl. Yeah, let's see.
So you're going to miter your corners.
Just like you do on a regular binding. Binding.
Yeah.
The same way you would do with a double binding. Let's see. Oh, look at her. She's so professional.
I am? Why?
Because she went out to the corners.
Oh.
She don't mess around. Good job. I'm a little close. Okay, what else is happening out there? Okay, if you added a loop, is it sewn into the binding?
Yes.
I would.
Yeah. You could sew it into the binding. You could
just attach it on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just let my thread came undone. You could also, like, if you've seen me do the hot pads where there's a loop.
Yeah.
You actually don't even.
You use your binding.
You don't. Yeah. You don't even finish off the. You don't have to join any ends of binding.
I love that
because they just come. It comes up and around.
That's how I did with that owl bag too.
Is that
the handle? The handle was the same as the binding.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice earring. Oh, thanks. This is the binding technique used in all of the 3-yard quilts posted.
You know what? I don't know if it is or not.
I'm not sure either.
I've never.
Would you please say
3-yard quilt,
cutting requirements.
I've never done single fold binding.
She does have a pattern for this today.
I do. Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. So
you got them all. You got it all sewn already?
I do.
Wow.
But the bummer thing is, I should have paid attention to that. Where I
joined them.
Where I joined them is could become an issue, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Okay. So let me grab a straight pin. So this is going to be a review to you for those who watched yesterday. So I have the one edge that's flat down. I'm going to bring this edge over.
You don't sew all the way to the edge because you want to be able to lift.
I want to be able to have that flapping in the wind, I like to call it. I just bring this up and over, and where these two intersect, I'm going to place a pin.
In the binding?
Yep.
Okay.
So just over top. Let me show that. Okay, those are where those two intersect. Then I bring this up, and this comes, and it just rests right up against where that pin is. So wherever the
Nice.
pin was, that's going to go. Now, someone asked yesterday, how's that different from double fold? Well, double fold, we actually measure over.
Then half the width.
And then, yeah, so that's why it's different. So same kind of principle, but it's just done a little differently with double fold. Okay.
Okay.
So I give maybe a better explanation on this from yesterday.
Yeah, and Kathy just wrote that club members, the patterns in the club under patterns and new releases.
Okay, so this is what it looks like.
That's really cute.
Yeah, isn't that something? and make sure you check that you did it correctly before you cut anything.
Yeah.
And now I'm ready to cut it.
You cut it so you have like a 1/4 inch seam.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now I'm going to just sew all.
You're going to attach the rest of that down.
Exactly.
All right. Good. On top of this. Yeah.
All right. There we go. Okay. So now it looks like this, and we're just going to do the same thing before. So we bring all these pieces or binding pieces out, and now we fold in.
You're just folding almost to the edge of the project.
Exactly. And then we just fold over. So again, this is just going to be a really great way for you to play around with this idea of single fold binding. Right? It's just so simple to do. So go ahead and answer some questions, Kyle.
Okay. She's gonna
stitch this.
Oh, you can top stitch.
And then we'll call
okay.
It good.
Do you see do you sew the binding on with a 1/4 inch seam? Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Because the stitch that you did to attach the front to the back was like 1/8 of an inch.
Oh, I'm gonna stop for just a minute. Let me tell you another tip I have. I started sewing this. If you are having trouble with getting this to come over and stay over, and you're just like kind of frazzled at the machine, use a glue stick.
Because that washes out.
Use a glue stick. Actually put it just a little dab will do into that seam. All right. So then you can actually prep this by pulling it over. And instead of using pins or even wonder clips on this one, look.
I love those wonder clips.
Oh, yes. They are awesome too. But I love being able just to do this.
That's
and
a
look how
idea.
It kind of just stays in place. So it makes it so I'm not like...
And it doesn't start getting twisty.
Yes. And I don't fight with it at the machine. All right. So don't be afraid to use a glue stick. Just a little bit. Just add that glue. Put an iron to it. It will dry super quick. And you're just, again, top stitching right into that. All right.
Awesome.
So
that's a good idea. Okay. A little dab will do you, like Brill cream. Yes. Already printed mine. Laura's right on it. Summer's coming. Can you give us a quick demo using binding in the hoop? In a loop. Oh, you're just going to fold it the same way, and then when you get to your loop, you're going to top stitch.
Yeah, I actually have a 3 at 3 on it.
Oh, do you? Okay.
I did. So maybe, I don't know if Kathy's on.
Yeah, Kathy is.
She might be able to find it.
A loop?
Because there is a 3 at 3 on how to do it.
Okay. Kathy's on it. Let's see. Kris, you're awesome. That's Patricia.
Oh, that's Patricia.
This will make a good Easter basket item. That's a great idea.
That is a fun idea.
Yes.
I'm thinking to be cute. So my daughter and her husband go to Ohio State.
Oh.
And I'm thinking I should make some in their Ohio State colors. Like
that's a good idea.
Red, black, gray.
Yeah. Great idea. Probably on a pot holder. Yep. I've seen them on pot holders. The loop.
That's where I showed the demo, was on a pot holder.
Okay, I'm on it, making no promises. Kathy.
Is that Kathy?
Yeah. She's on it.
She'll find it.
She will.
That girl
She's
can
like a
find
genius
anything.
on
Give
that
her a
computer.
minute, but
She's a detective.
She'll eventually find
Christmas
it.
series Kris did. So cool. I am afraid of doing binding. It doesn't ever come out straight.
Oh, I love binding.
Well, the other day when we were working together and we did the binding clips, those binding clips had a measurement on it that I really didn't know. And that way you can know how far over you should fold it, right? So it's all even. I have Melody says she has Ohio State fabric.
Oh, ooh.
Nice.
Anyone want to send me some Ohio State fabric?
I'm sure.
I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
I just need a fat quarter of it.
Fat quarter.
If anyone has Ohio State fabric, I will seriously pay you for a fat quarter of it.
And you're going to get it all done and shipped out in time for Easter?
You betcha.
They're not coming for Easter, are they?
No. But
Melody says she will.
Oh,
okay.
Melanie.
That's awesome. Okay. Melody, where do you live?
I know she lives in Ohio.
So, yeah, that would make sense, huh?
Okay, there we go. All done.
Oh,
ta-da.
That was easy.
Wasn't that easy?
Oh, my gosh.
So, okay, so you got to,
groovy.
Do the grooviness of it all. You just need darker glasses, my friend. There we go.
So it's called giant glasses.
And then what do they do? Hey, your giant glasses fit in there. Nice.
I like it.
See, she found it. Kathy found it.
Of course she did.
There we go. There's my sunglass case.
Cute. I like it a lot.
So kind of
that'll
fun.
Save your sunglasses in your car.
Your pocketbook. I had these sunglasses on that trip to St. George, and I didn't have anything to put them in. So, and there's the back. Awesome. So
nice.
Anyway, there you go. That's it, folks.
Okay.
Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom.
Look at that.
I can't wait
you
to
got
see
3
what you
of your
guys
kids
do.
Done. Oh, Jacob will love one of those.
That's right.
He probably liked the polka dot one.
There you go. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. That was really fun.
He and Mike could have matching ones.
Oh,
that'd be so cute on the golf course.
So cute. I love it. I love it. Now, another thing you could do if you wanted to, Kyle, is you could curve your bottom edges. If you want to get really fancy, you could curve your bottom edges. But if you do, you could curve all the way around. You need to do bias. So
I like the square.
Saying. All right, guys. So I hope you learned something new, inspired, all of the above. We've done things